Tonight, presenting the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame ring to Bob Moore is AMA National Motocross Champion, FIM World Motocross Champion, and 1991 Trophy to Nations Champion, Hall of Fame member Danny Laporte.
Bob Moore, in recognition of your 1985 AMA 125 West Coast Supercross Championship, your 3 German National Championships, and your 1994 FIM 125cc World Motocross Championship, and your work as co-founder of Road to Recovery, it is my great honor to induct you into the American Motorcyclist Association Motorcycle Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Oh boy, she's watching that video makes me just overwhelmed. Hope you guys are all having a good evening tonight. I sure am. So I'm really happy to be up here. But first and foremost, I would like to give thanks to the Lord Jesus Christ for his blessings on my career. And glory to the Lord above. I'd like to start by thanking the AMA and their wonderful staff for this event. Our family and I have had a wonderful time, so thank you. It is a truly humbling experience to be here, and I still can't believe I am a part of this amazing group of individuals. As a kid, my life started just like so many others. My father raced on the weekends, gave me my first bike at the age of 6. What simply started out as a hobby quickly became an obsession, coupled with the ability to travel to the races almost every weekend with my family, just cemented the love for the sport of motocross. So with that, I would like to thank my mother and father, Jim and Lonnie Moore. What they have both put in my racing career thus far is priceless. Having a, I gotta take a drink of water. Myself not to do that when I got up here, but I'm sure that went right out the door. Having a father so dedicated to succeed in life and in business he was just proved just to be a great role model. And a loving mother who had such a kind heart and was quick to straighten me out when I wasn't on the right path. I'll share with you a quick story. When I was the age of 17 and just after I won my mini cycle championship at Ponca City, my dad said to me, well, this racing thing was fun, but I guess you're too small to ride a 125, so you're just going to have to give it up. Being 4 foot 11 inches and weighing 87 pounds, I was not the biggest guy to jump on a 125. I know. I know that this was just a test my father was giving me. He knew that what was lying ahead and the challenges I would face. Not only was I the smallest rider, but moving up into the pro class, going up against the best riders in the world, was going to be not easy at all. And it wasn't until years later that I realized this test was a gift and gave me the motivation that I needed to succeed being a professional motorcycle rider. So to my mom and dad, thank you. To the love of my life for 25 years, my wife, Rebecca. She has put up with me while I traveled across Europe to some of the not-so-friendly motocross tracks. I remember traveling to France, and their idea of an outhouse was a hole dug in the ground with a box around it. So any woman that'll stick with me during that time is a blessing. I'd also like to thank my wonderful sons, Gavin and Mason. I would like to thank Davey Coombs and the Coombs family, Ron Hendrickson and from the NMA. The Loretta Lynn Amateur Nationals was and still is today a springboard for many motorcycle riders like myself. Their dedication and love for the sport still shines today, so thank you to them. Now I'd like to highlight a few people and thank them who helped me during my professional racing career. To Pat Alexander with American Suzuki. Pat gave me my first pro contract. It was $5,000 plus bonuses. A lot has changed since then. To Roberto Galina and the Galina Racing Team for giving me my first opportunity to race in the World Championship. To KTM and the Trunk and Poltz family for their amazing support. To Sylvain Gabors at Suzuki Racing. To Catherine Leclache, who was my manager for 10 years. To Michele Rinaldi and Yamaha Racing for helping me make my childhood dream come true. I had an unforgettable time, and I want to thank all the mechanics and crew that helped me while finishing second place in the 1992 250cc championship. My teammate who won that year was none other than the late, great Hall of Famer, Donnie Schmidt. Donnie was a true champion and someone that I learned a lot from. I'll tell you a short story of during the 1992 season. We were living together, and oftentimes we'd go training during the week. And I remember this one particular time where Donnie and I were out on this mountain bike road, and Donnie was an avid cyclist. So not that I wasn't, but he was a lot better than me. So it was about an hour ride up this hill, and it was very grueling, single track, hard to get up anyways. And I got about a quarter mile of the finish, started to the top of the hill, and I was like still ahead of Donnie, and I'm like, wow, this is cool. I'm gonna maybe beat him up to the top of the hill. It was just then that I heard some gears click, and sure enough, Donnie was riding right alongside on the right side of me, passing me up this hill. I had no more breath. I was out of breath and just about ready to die. And while he looked over at me, it's like it was yesterday. He glanced over at me and he said, "Bob, don't ever let this mountain beat you." And that stuck with me just, even today, because that was something that was really special. And Donnie was really special to me, so I thank him for that. And I will never forget winning the 1994 championship. It took me 9 years of racing the World Championship to finally win. Maybe by waiting that long made it more special, but unforgettable is an understatement. Special thanks to my mechanics and crew, Para, Nicola, Massimo, Carlo, Aldo, and Jorgen. This was a truly unforgettable time in my racing career, and one that I will cherish forever. And for the last 2 years of my racing, I'd like to thank Giorgio Foy. Now, transitioning from the racing career to a 9-to-5 job can be hard for most, but I've been blessed with these opportunities. I would like to thank Donnie Emler and the FMF family for not only giving me the pipes that helped me win the World Championship, but my first real job after racing. Donnie gave me the opportunity to become the team manager of his new race team. So it is so cool and fitting that I get to congratulate Donnie tonight. He's a fantastic man, and his love for our sport shows no sign of slowing down. I would like to thank Steve Astafin, Brad Lusky, Casey Wasserman, and Mike Watts from Wasserman. For the last 14 years, I've had the pleasure to work with this amazing team and continue to do what I love, which is helping riders from around the world fulfill their dream of racing a motorcycle for a living. It has been a blessing to work for Wasserman, and it is easy to see why they are the best sports marketing agency in the world. Finally, I'd like to thank the staff and all the volunteers at the Road to Recovery Foundation. These are truly the people that deserve the credit for making the foundation what it is today. Bob Walker, Anita Button, Chuck Baldwin, Lori Amstutz, Mike Young, and Jimmy Button. The foundation started in 2000 when a friend of mine and fellow racer, Jimmy Button, was injured at the San Diego Supercross. I was bothered by the fact that there was no additional support for a rider that sustained a career-ending injury. A career-ending insurance policy these days for a motocross rider is around $30,000 per year per $1 million of coverage. Of course, This amount of money per year puts more than 95% of the riders unable to pay for coverage. So this is when Bob Walker and myself look for ways to help. In the early years, the unfortunate rider would get injured. We would all scramble to do a fundraiser, collect the money, and then give directly to the rider and the family. This was fine, but it meant that starting from zero when the next rider got injured. I knew that this type of fundraising could not continue, so in 2005, I started to ask manufacturers and top sponsors for a 3-year commitment of funds so we could start a rider endowment. With the generous help from Keith McCarty, Todd Genro, and many others, we were able to put funds away for our endowment. I'd also like to add that our current endowment is set up to give funds immediately. Our board gets on a conference call, we discuss the current condition of an athlete, and start the process that day. 2014 was another busy year for the foundation, as we expanded our reach to also include professional motocross riders in Europe racing the World Motocross Championship. With the help of Jamie and Naomi Daub, the foundation has started to pick up momentum and has built a separate endowment for world motocross riders. The foundation also expanded in 2014 to cover action sports. With the help of Aaron Cook and his foundation, the Athlete Recovery Fund, Road to Recovery now supports all action sport athletes who suffer a career-ending injury. To finish, I would like to give you a donation summary from 2000 until now. The total action sport injured athlete donations is just over $1.1 million. Total motocross and supercross injured rider donations is just over $4.5 million. Total mobile medical unit donations have been just over $285,000. And total rider ministry donations has just been over $124,000. For a total donations to date of just over $6 million. And probably the best of all is our current motocross and supercross endowment has reached just over $1 million as of just a couple of weeks ago. So my future of the foundation is to offer help to all motocross riders on and off-road. Thank you very much for your time and this unforgettable experience. Good night.